Good morning. This is a regular commission meeting for Gratiot County Commission, December 9th, 2024. I'll call this meeting to order, and everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, people. Roll call.
Josh isn't on yet.
If Josh is on there, okay. Eli.
Here.
Zorn.
Here.
Edlin.
Here.
And Tranby is here. If I take a look at the agenda and see what we're thinking here, I need approval for it, of course.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Edlin for, do I have a second somewhere? Any to add, Josh or Rod?
I don't see, maybe I'm
Okay.
on here of, we got Irene here again and on what we're talking about with that position, is that on here?
Yep,
Yeah, it's on here. Yeah.
District 1 County
District 1,
Commissioner
yeah, it's on
appointment.
there, yeah. It's about halfway.
Right there, I see.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, yep,
All
it's
right,
there.
so I approve them, I'll make a second to a motion to approve that.
Okay, second by Zorn. All in favor, approving the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign? Motion carries. Okay. Need approval of the November 25th meeting minutes. Can we take a peek at that quick and see what we think? Any additions or subtractions?
I make a motion to approve the minutes and dispense with the reading.
Motion by Edlin. Do I have a second out there?
I'll second that.
Second by Zorn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Bills, approval to pay. Everyone want to take a peek at these too? Any surprises there, Sam, or anything else?
No.
Okay. Take a minute or two, look at these over, please.
I make a motion to approve the invoices.
Go ahead.
Oh, so a motion from Edlin to approve the bills. Do you have a second?
There's nothing here, so I understand that.
Nothing that I seen.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, second by Zorn. We'll vote voice vote because it's money. Got Avery online yet? Okay. Eli.
Aye.
Zorn.
Aye.
Edlin.
Aye.
Tranby votes aye. Okay.
She said that she would wait till everybody else goes if we want her to. So just
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, we'll skip over Michaela's for a second.
you'll have monthly office reports.
Oh, sorry, monthly office report.
Okay.
That's right. And we take a peek. Those are already in here, right?
There's two of them in there.
Two
yep.
of them in there, yeah.
Yep,
Take a
and
peek
then
at
mine
those.
were sent by email.
Yeah.
So.
We don't have no motion on that though, right?
Nope.
No, you just review them.
Just read them. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's page, was it the fourth page in? All the bank statements in there. Anything else? Looks okay, guys? Okay, we'll keep moving then. We'll skip over Michaela's for a second here. And then I have Ben Gates here from the Steele County Emergency Management.
I can wait if you want to.
Well, I want to go with you for a little bit. That's what you think?
You want to do the?
It'll be a
I don't want to do
fairly-
District 1 until Josh is here, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that to District 1 till Josh get him on the line.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It
So
might be a pretty long discussion. You may want to hit everybody else.
Yeah, if
Well-
you want to do the family farmers.
yeah,
Let's do family
let's do the
farmers?
Finley Farmers
The only
then.
question is, do you want Jamie here for that?
That's true. We need Jamie here.
He's not
here.
So you wanna go grab them?
I'll go yell at him.
Thank you.
Sorry, yell is the appropriate word.
And Gabriel's having issues, so I'm gonna send it to a different email. So.
Okay, keep trying. And we have two people from Finley Elevator here. We got Todd Edlin, who's the general manager, and then we got Christina
Cassie talked
Cassie. Yeah, and she's a lawyer for.
for the elevator.
And that's what law firm is that?
Nilsson Brandley.
Brandley. That's it.
We're out of Mayville.
Yep, correct.
She's a lawyer for everybody.
And it tends to be in the area.
Todd Erickson is the one that you,
What's that?
Todd Erickson.
That what I say?
You said Todd Edlin.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Does Wayne got a lot?
I don't know.
Wayne's right here.
Oh, there's Wayne. Oh, he's hiding over there. That's not your usual spot, you know. I know, I see that.
I'm
The
sorry.
spot is taken, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
You didn't see his name on the
I
seat,
didn't,
so.
Yeah.
Next time I'll know.
That's fine.
Do you have a lot on the?
Well, do I have a lot?
Do you have a lot?
I don't have a lot.
Okay.
I did have that we did purchase, or Griggs County did purchase this pickup,
Wonderful.
and it's listed in the meeting minutes.
Yep.
It's paid in full.
Okay.
Have you guys picked it up yet?
Yep, sitting right outside.
Is it? Good deal.
Take it for a drive after.
Okay.
Everything seemed to be good though?
Seemed to be good, yep. Didn't have running boards. And you gotta get about that high, so. I've got them ordered. So, otherwise it drove great and everything,
Okay.
so.
We paid how much for it, Wayne?
Paid $20,000,
Okay.
then there was a $580 fee from the auctioneer. I looked at the 2012 in Devil's Lake, 2,500 for $30,125.
Okay.
So we got a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Got a good deal for 3,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Good.
otherwise,
You, then this is a long box.
one box.
Crew cab.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we got a check from Maddie or Bryce and paid it right there.
We allowed you up to 27, 28,000?
You allowed 28,000.
Yeah.
License and title, it takes about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Get the license and title, they'll send that out.
Where are we at on selling your old pickup?
Didn't get put in the paper right
They
away.
had an early deadline because of Thanksgiving, so we didn't get it in time. So it will go. We'll talk about it at the next meeting.
Okay.
So it'll run for 2 weeks, starting this week and next week, and then we'll talk about it at your next meeting.
I think it's open, bids open on the 29th, 30th, or whatever it was,
I had it opening on.
Commissioner's Day.
Yep. So I had the bids in by 8:30, and then you guys would talk about it at the meeting. So.
Okay.
Anything else, Wayne?
That's it.
Wanna do the schedule?
Oh, I suppose we'd look at the schedule too, I suppose.
Josh, can you hear me? Josh, you're muted. There you go.
Well, I could say one more thing, the right-of-way.
Yeah, any more than that?
Hasn't been solved yet,
Okay, still working on it?
the bridge.
Okay. We made a counter offer, of course, last time.
I think they made a counter offer.
We did, yeah. Yeah. Huh?
I don't know if it got sent to them or what, but
Yeah. We approved that last time.
yeah, it's approved.
Yeah.
So it's in their, ball's in their court right now.
I think so.
What
Yep.
did we offer?
What was it, Sam?
20,000, wasn't it?
No, no, no. That's what they want. That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
No.
I think it was like 7,000.
Okay, yeah, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
I think it was almost 7,
Just
wasn't
about
it? Just, yeah, a little under 7.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
That's what.
yeah, I'm sorry. I knew-
No, it's okay.
I knew it was 20,000.
That's what they wanted.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah. So,
Right.
okay. Anything else, Wayne?
That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Wayne.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Here,
Thank you.
Josh. Okay. Jamie, you're up with the Finley Farmers.
Okay, I thought that was at 10:45.
Well, we moved ahead. Sorry.
Well,
We can move on other things if you need a few minutes.
I'm actually waiting for a phone call. I've been trying to talk to the state tax commissioner's office. The only problem is if people want to come in here at 10:45, it's an agenda item at 10:45.
Sure, we can mosey on if you're waiting for a call.
We can do that too.
Josh is on if you guys want to do the commissioner.
Yeah. Josh, you there? Josh, still around?
Yes.
Anyway, so District 1 County Commission appointment. The guy I was talking to a couple weeks ago backed out about 3 days ago. Doesn't want to do it. So we're back to just basically Irene Helm and Lauren Ellison as the two guys we have. So I'm to the point now that we need to do something on this, I guess,
Yeah.
to fill a position. So
Yeah, no, I'll make, I've thought about it, talked about it quite a bit with some people, and I think the district has spoken out that they want to have somebody,
correct.
Yep.
so, anyway, at this point, I'd like to make a motion that we would accept Irene Helm.
Okay. Motion from Ms. Zorn, Irene Helm. Do we have a second out there? Do we have a second? One more time. Do we have a second? Okay, motion dies for lack of motion, or motion dies for lack of second. So, okay.
I'll make a motion for Lauren.
Edlin has made a motion for Lauren for the county commission seat, vacant. Do we have a second out there anywhere?
I'll second it.
Okay, Josh seconds it. Any discussion? Any discussion? One more time, any discussion? And we'll vote on this by voice vote on this one, so. Anyway, Josh,
Aye.
Eli,
I'm going to refrain from voting.
okay, Zoran,
Nay.
Edlin,
Aye.
Trombley votes aye. So, Commissioner goes to Lauren Ellison.
Got it.
So, okay. Okay, that's taken care of. Thank you, Irene, for helping though. We appreciate it, so. I'll give Lauren a call, so, and I'll take care of it, so. Okay. Okay. Next item. We can do next.
Get a schedule.
Get a schedule, I suppose.
So we are, with having it on Tuesdays, we are hitting up against court dates. But
Yeah.
so there's 5 of them that the court will be going on. So just on those days, we'll just have to be quiet, be respectful. The walls are pretty thin between the 2 rooms, so we'll just have to, just have to be. Are you okay?
That would not be the best day. If I had to be here, I couldn't be.
There's 5 court.
5 days that we're hitting up against a court date.
Oh, not every time.
No.
Just 5.
I'd shut up over here.
And I think maybe if there is something big happening, maybe we can adjust our meeting. Can we do that on a different day or time or something?
Make it work.
Okay.
But then I'll just have, all guests sit on that side so that we're not up against this wall. But I think everything else should be fine.
That's for me.
And then it will just be that one commissioner meeting that is your budget hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be we'll just do our meeting at 4:30 so that we can just roll into the budget hearing like we have in the past. But
Correct.
other than that, I think we should be okay. If you guys are good with that. Just again to let you guys all know that if it falls too close to the first of the month, I do push you off to the next week to give us time to close books for the month. So it doesn't fall on the first and the third Tuesday. It's kind of, it's scheduled, but it, kind of finagle it a little bit. And then that last meeting in December, we always have a special meeting at the end of the year
correct.
to pay the remainder of bills. I did it again like we did this year, push it to the 30th so that then we don't have to have a special meeting and all remainder of bills can be paid at your regular meeting. So
Perfect.
Having it on like the 4th isn't too early in the month for bills. That's still okay? The 4th and 5th?
Yeah,
Okay.
it should be.
Okay, good. I'll make a motion to accept the new 2025 meeting agenda or meeting schedule.
Okay, motion by Edlund. Do we have a second out there? Do you have a second? Come on, guys.
I'll second it. I didn't quite catch that, but if there's not a second, I'll second it.
Okay, thanks, Josh. A second by Zorn. I mean by Josh Averill. Anyway, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
What?
We're going to have discussion in case we
Oh
have
yeah.
discussion.
Oh yeah. We give me discussion. Any discussion on this? Rod, you weren't.
Is there a better date for you,
You have a better
Rob?
date?
Well, I will not make one of those meetings.
Okay,
I mean, there's just no way. I leave on Monday
I
and
know.
I am gone.
I know.
If I'm going to represent my district, I think I should be here.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
So, I mean, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
And Fridays are the only other option for you possibly? Is Fridays?
Fridays work better than a Tuesday. Maybe Tuesday doesn't. I mean, we leave Monday.
I know you
and
do. That's what we did before for you. Remember?
Yeah. So.
And you don't like Mondays.
I mean,
I'm not. I don't want to be difficult, but I mean,
No, that's fine,
I do
Rod.
think that I need to try. And I don't make all the meetings even on a Mondays,
No.
and I do them by phone, and it's really hard.
You're right.
To know who's talking and try and keep everything, and so no, I guess a Tuesday. Because Tuesday when we're getting the week going, I mean, we've
I
got
know.
our schedule, and we're really trying to make that on Fridays. Friday afternoon. I mean, that doesn't work for you guys. That'd be my only other option. Because usually by Friday we're wrapping her up about noon.
And then years ago we had this discussion too. We made it Mondays for you could be able to be here. That's why we did it on Mondays.
Yeah.
That was originally the plan.
Yeah.
Fridays are tough, but I think Fridays are better than Mondays because at least Samantha can get the agenda out that Thursday instead of Friday or a Thursday, or if there's like something with holidays, sending it out on a Wednesday. I mean, you're getting it so early.
Well,
I mean, Fridays are tough, but I mean, I think I would say it's better than a Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Is a Friday doable for you?
I anything is better than Tuesday.
Okay. Okay.
Tuesday just does not work at all.
That's fine. Josh, you there?
Are we thinking Friday?
Yeah.
What do you
Fridays
think?
would work better. I mean, it's gonna be tough for me either way, but we gotta do Fridays. I mean, we try and push it off later in the afternoon. I mean, when I'm at my peak of heating and cooling season, it makes it more difficult. But if we could try to do something at like 3:30-ish, if not a little later
That's what
or
it'd be
something
for.
like that'd be better for me.
On a Friday?
yeah.
Yeah.
3:30.
I will not be here. I will not be here on Friday.
And you're at Fridays off. Oh boy.
I think about it's 2 Fridays a month, so it's not too, asking for too much, I don't think, but it does cut into like the summer months if people want to go do things on Fridays and whatever. But
at least we know ahead of time. I mean, if you go with Fridays, you know now,
Right.
you know when your meetings are. Try
Right.
your best to schedule things around it.
And they haven't been as long, so a couple of hours has been great. So afternoons wouldn't be so bad.
Your longest ones would be probably during budget time.
Right. And if need be, we could always schedule another meeting, you know, instead of going
It's too
longer.
long.
Unless we go Monday afternoon.
Well, then Rod's on the road, so that doesn't help
Oh,
him
that's
either.
right, doesn't remember. You're
It's
always,
either
you're always
early-
gone. You're always gone.
Early Mondays or late Fridays
Yeah,
to,
that's
All week,
all week,
Okay.
All week, yeah.
every week.
every week.
Ooh,
It used
Yeah.
to be Fridays at 1, right?
Used to be Fridays at 1.
Yeah.
1.
could we have, would 3? Fridays at 3? Does that frown too bad?
That
Fridays
work.
at 1? Would Friday? Well, Josh, what, late day Fridays you said?
Yeah, Friday afternoons would be better depending on, our service and our calls. But, I mean, it would be easier for me to get work off to do that. I mean, I'm doing what I can, as it is. So, and I know that sounds bad about, pushing them off and everything else, but at the same time, it's, I'm trying to get a flexible schedule too with everybody where we all can be here. So,
I think the earlier in the afternoon that we can have it on Fridays would be better, just in case like it does go a little bit longer than we are, out of
Still here.
Okay.
I do have to have my kids picked up by 5, so
Oh, 5.
I mean, I don't want to put my personal stuff in here or whatever,
No,
but
yeah.
You're
that's-
part of
that's-
it. You're part of the team. So.
Absolutely. No,
But so,
no, I'm
you know,
fine with like a 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock on Fridays.
Can you swing at 1?
Josh?
I will do my best. If this is what's going to work for Rod too, I will do my best to make it there.
Is Fridays better than Mondays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Fridays are better
Okay.
than Mondays. Then you guys can have that communication with me with the meeting coming out and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah. No, that 1 o'clock Friday works for me. There's a chance that I know I won't make them all.
Yeah.
But there's a chance. Tuesday, there's just no chance.
No, that's fine. So,
What-
I'm probably the most flexible of the bunch here, so.
Same.
For me, at least, so.
And I do like the option of being able to Zoom into the meetings. I would request with the Zoom that we do upgrade our system to be able to make it easier or functioning better, because it is hard when you're on Zoom. There's that one speaker in the middle, and the camera system only sees the big room. Kind of. So it'd be nice to be able to have a better system to
I think Travis
accommodate.
Is
was
working on it?
talking about that when we were kind of all discussing like ARPA funds, like getting a new system of some sort for
Yeah.
a better Zoom system.
Yep, that would be great to accommodate for when we are on the road, to be able to zoom in and feel like we're not missing out.
Yep. One for
As
other
much.
people who, if they can't attend a meeting, citizens going on Zoom.
Absolutely.
I don't know if this is the right time to talk about that. I guess it would be starting January 1st or into the new year. I will be sending out the Zoom link to all so that people can start live streaming in.
Okay.
If that's okay with you guys, if there's no dispute about that. I have been getting calls that people do want to be attending the meetings, and that would be huge. So I'd like to start that in the new year. So.
Okay.
That is,
It's 2025. Technology is key.
and I think a lot more people would get involved in the county business if they were able just to do that, and instead of going back and listening and stuff like that after the fact. So
Yes, I like that. So next month you'll send us a new schedule.
So we're thinking Fridays at 1.
1 o'clock.
Got it.
You need a motion then, of course, right? We need a motion, right?
You have a motion on the table
Okay.
to approve the
Yeah.
agenda or the
Well,
schedule as
This one,
presented.
but so we need to.
So
Well, we need to get rid of
to vote on the current one.
Yeah.
Because there was a motion in a second.
Yeah, but we had, the first time needed to rescind that one, right? For
We can
the,
all just vote no and then make a
Okay.
motion.
okay, let's just, so the first motion will keep going, and we'll do a voice vote in the first one, and that one, so, all in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried, so.
Died.
Sorry, okay, so I have a new motion, want to say that, Steph?
Yes.
I don't think we need a motion. I think you'll
need
just
to just, you'll do it for you
you'll
next
just
time.
approve the
Approve it?
agenda. Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
so we just leave it at that then? Okay, all right. Okay.
We
So,
have 45 minutes. Do we want to review COVID funds?
We can do that.
let's do that.
Unless,
Let's Amber's
Amber,
ready,
you want
let's
to?
Amber's to
I
go.
don't care. I'm better than them.
okay, Amber goes first.
Okay,
You know what? You're the sheriff. You go first.
I'm better than them.
okay, whatever,
Okay,
guys.
Let's
the
just call you
quotes
sheriff.
were sent out again to you guys
Yep.
for the sheriff car. The car itself is 45,000. If we were to go with the new Ram they just put out, it's 57,000. So you guys gave me 65,000 to get the car set up. If you were to put a body cam, taser, in-car camera, and the graphics, the total is 88,554.
And that's with the more expensive Ram.
No,
That's with the cheaper one.
that's with the Durango. The Ram would be 10 more grand,
For the pickup,
98, yeah.
what's your opinion on that, the Ram versus the Durango?
It would be beneficial to have a pickup in the fleet.
That's what Steele County's got, right, Ben?
We only have pickups.
Only
Yeah,
have pickup.
Our Sheriff Beckman will only buy
Pickups.
pickups. He won't buy.
In talking to Steele County, their final number is up in the high 8s.
Yeah, no, we budget anywhere from, depending on who is up, if it's our deputies or if it's our sheriff, we budget anywhere from 85 to 90.
For a vehicle.
For a vehicle, and that's usually 60,000 for the vehicle, and that's 30-ish.
To put stuff in there,
All the, yeah.
yeah, all the cameras
All
and
that
stuff.
stuff. And we generally don't spend up to that. I mean, we get pretty good, our sheriff finds pretty good deals on some different things, but it's usually pretty dang close to that, depending on the year.
Okay. So right now, so basically we need to come up another 65 to what, 80-some thousand, if we go for the Ram pickup, right? Need to find some money somewhere else to make that work.
For the pickup, it'd be another 10. That'd
Yes.
be, so you'd be up to 98,000.
That's what I mean, see, that's the problem. So,
Where are we at currently?
65, you think?
Okay.
total,
And the Durango would be 88, so that'd be 22,000 more for the Durango. Is that or
That's here,
at the Chrysler Center?
yeah.
Okay,
So it would be how much for the pickup though? 90,
98.
98?
with everything on it,
Yeah.
ready to
Yeah.
go.
Well, question on the pickup, if you want to pick up, is there any this year's 24s, half tons that are,
He couldn't find any.
couldn't find anything, huh?
Because these are the
And the
police,
Durango would have to be by auction, because they don't have any, and the Ram, he said they could build in, he'd have it in like 8 weeks, 7 to 8 weeks.
this would be the police inceptor package, they call it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The pursuit package.
Yep, exactly.
Do we have a invoice, a quote on that? We do not, do we?
On the pickup, I know.
You just
I
got,
can get one
you
though.
just got the Durango.
Oh,
here.
but you just need. So, what are we looking for? We're looking for, get more funds, having more funds to your department to be able to purchase a pickup, correct? And you need,
Be 32,000 for a pickup, 22 for a
Durango,
Durango.
yeah.
33,000 for pickup,
More.
33,000.
Yeah. Yep.
We do have the ARPA funds balance of. Sorry.
Well, okay, so.
Go ahead, Dan.
And if they bought a new Durango and did buy it on auction, how much?
Can't get 'em.
He can't get a Durango, okay.
Would you guys prefer to always have all your vehicles to be pickups? Is that what your future preference would be?
No, I just only have one in the fleet.
Just at least one, and then the rest are okay with Durangos and
Mhm.
stuff? Okay.
There's more room in the Durangos.
So right now you have $362,199.33 in the.
Might be a good time for ARPA.
That's I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I was
go
like,
ahead.
okay, so
What number is ARPA?
Okay, so
And Ben, you're up.
yeah, this might be easy. You want to take one of those and pass
Yeah.
those around? Sorry, not to.
That's
No,
fine.
we gotta,
It all leads together.
it all
Yeah.
I think
molds
it's probably a
together.
good discussion for it. First off, my name is Ben Gates. I'm the emergency manager over in Steele County and Trail County. I've known Jamie for several years, and then I've also known Sam for several years as well. They asked me to come over last week and take a look and go through the ARPA discussion, what that is, what that means, how that all works. And then what we have to go through in the future. Background, a little history for you guys. I've been doing this for Trail and Steel since ARPA funds came through, so they call me the guy, and so that's why you got me. So a couple of things we found, and on the sheet that you guys didn't have in front of you is actually your fund sheet. So that's the sheet that you guys see. I know it's pretty common for Sam and Maddie to see this. Couple of things that I highlighted there. On the left side, on the stars, you're going to see two stars. One says ARPA fund, and one says COVID PHS general fund. Okay. I think nomenclature is where we kind of got confused a little bit before. So the ARPA fund, the top one, that's actually your LATCF fund. It's a local and tribal consistency fund. So it was in connection with the American Rescue Plan Act and the IIJA Act. But basically what that did is that to get everybody, to get all counties and cities a little bit more consistent, the feds tried to give a little bit of extra cash, basically. It came in two tranches. It came $50,000 in like October, and then following February it came in another $50,000. So you have $100,000 available for that. We talk about ARPA funds and restrictions. The LATCF funds, there are no restrictions on that. There's very minimal reporting requirements, that type of thing, but you can use those funds for whatever you want to use those funds for. So there's no obligation requirements, there's no nothing, okay? So that is 100% your guys' decision. From a history standpoint, or from what we did in Trail and Steel, we actually obligated those to our road department, and then our road departments were able to do whatever they wanted to with those funds. I think Steel bought equipment. Reed probably talked to you, Wayne. He bought a trailer, a pickup, couple of things with it. I don't know. He outfitted a couple of things. Trail did generally the same thing. They were able to use that to offset some of their other fundings and some road projects and stuff like that. So that was the big one there. The second one below it there on the left side, that star, is your COVID PHS general fund. That is your ARPA fund, so your American Rescue Plan Act. Those are the ones that come with the requirements and come with the specifications on what you can and can't use for those. Going back a little bit more, when you had the discussion, or when the ARPA funds first came in, they were set into 4 different categories, and there was a standard deduction that was allowed for that. The standard deduction was basically a revenue loss calculation, okay? So in one of the rules that came out from the federal government, they said, hey, you can only use these for these 4 specific categories. One of them being like broadband, one of them being water infrastructure. There was 2 other ones. One was a broad public safety, one was a broad public health type of thing. Jamie's on that board, so I'm looking at him. Yeah.
I think so.
So there was those 4 categories, okay, and they were very specific on what you could and couldn't use those for. Well, we started looking at the funds, us rural counties and us smaller counties, because there are a lot more smaller counties across the U.S. than there are large counties. And so we started looking at that, and then we started fighting with the federal government, not fighting, but having the discussion with the federal government saying, what do we do if we get under a certain percentage or under a certain dollar amount? How does that work for the counties? Can we have a little bit more leeway if we start doing that? And the feds went back and forth with it. In essence, they said yes. They came up with what they call a standard deduction amount. So any county that received less than $10 million in American Rescue funds were able to claim that as a standard deduction. Basically saying that you claim that it comes into your county coffers, and then you have to use the funds in accordance with any of these other categories. The only thing that opened up is if you bring it into the county coffers, you are able to use it for the provision of government services, whatever that is. And it's a very broad definition, looking at the lawyers here, very broad definition of what provision of government services is. In essence, it's whatever you do to provide government services as a county. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The Greeks County received less than $10 million, obviously, in that funds. So you are able to use those for pretty much anything you want to use those for. The conversations that you guys need to have moving forward, and I say you guys need to have because you do, is the obligation of those funds. So what does obligation mean? It basically means that you have to assign them to a project. So when the interim final rule first came out from the federal government, they said you can put them in your county coffers, use them for whatever you want, and we're good to go. As long as you report it that way, we're fine. And then they came out in their final rule and they said, just kidding, wait, there's an extra step. So step 1 is to bring them into the county, use them in the county coffers, use them for whatever. The second step is with obligation now, you have to actually say that you're going to use them for a specific project now. So you have them in your county coffers, they're there and available to you, but now you have to say, wait a minute, we're going to obligate those funds for a specified project. Okay, that project can be, when we talked about this last week, that project can be pretty overarching, it can be pretty wide open, but that obligation needs to be done by the end of this month. So you have, and I understand you're not ready to make those decisions today, probably more than likely not, and I completely understand that, but that's why I wanted to get in front of you guys, and that's why Jamie wanted me to come talk to you guys, because that decision has to be made at your next meeting at the latest. Type of thing, okay? So looking at the ARPA funds and what you guys have available, Sam and I went through this there at the end of our meeting. You have, going through the stuff, this $362,199.33 that you see in the COVID PHS General Fund.
Yep.
If you go to the far right, it says that minus $362,199. That's what you have available in your funds. However, it's not quite. So when we were going through, we were adding up the expenses and the stuff you guys have already obligated. Your balance as of the end of November of 2024 is $353,851.58. So it's $353,851.58. So it's a little bit different than this. It just depends on where
about 10 grand less.
Yeah, and it's just the difference of there were some funds for the sheriff's office I think that were included into that maybe weren't ready for when the reports ran. It's pretty common to have some of that overlap. You have already obligated, or you were having the conversation about obligating the Vanguard software for $48,492.50 that was coming out of this. I think the conversation Sam and I were having is that you guys did approve that CPT expense for your guys' new software. I think the thought process was to re-obligate that out of these funds instead of the $100,000, correct?
We haven't talked about that, but yeah, so what we had discussed is that the CPT and everything to do like the new software was going to come out of what we have labeled as ARPA funds, but that is like a perfect thing to have come out of what we have as COVID.
Right.
So
It's still ARPA.
Yeah.
It's the
actual
COVID line, but real ARPA.
Yep. And so, the one that can be used for anything and doesn't have any restrictions, I mean, we already have a project. Why not use these funds to do that? So that was kind of the...
So our estimation with that was about $65,000 from what we could come back and look through. And then you guys have already obligated a 2025 offset of $33,590.21. So if you do the math on it, total left after obligations, which is your bottom dollar amount here, is $206,768.87. That's 206,768.87. So that's your total left after your already obligations that you've already done. So that would be
Of both funds you're talking?
No, of the one.
Just the one, just the one.
Just the one fund. So that would be the dollar. That would be the dollar amount that you would need to obligate to something by the end of 2024.
We don't need to spend it by then, but we need to
You
obligate
need to obligate it. So
Okay.
spending comes into a different conversation. I'm glad you brought that up. And not to interrupt you,
Yep.
the spending of it needs to be completed by the end of 2026. So December 31st, 2026, you have
Year
to
from now.
spend those funds. They have to be, like I said, they have to be obligated to that project. They have to be spent by the end of 2026. There's no, when it comes back to, okay, well, what happens if, and the conversation comes, what happens if we don't need those funds for that specific project we obligated it for? Can we re-obligate it to a different project? The answer is yes and no. So you can re-obligate those funds, however, they have to be re-obligated to a project that occurred in 2024 or prior. Which means that if for some reason Amber gets this new pickup and she wrecks it in 2026, you can't say, oh, we'll just use ARPA funds for Amber's new pickup. You can't do that because it wasn't a project in 2024, right? But for instance, if you're paving a road or you're trying to save money up to pay for a road, and that's always been a discussion, and you have that listed under a project sheet somewhere, you can say, oh, we're going to re-obligate those funds to that paving project at that point.
So Ben, is that advice to over-obligate the county then? So if we have $203,000 left, maybe we should obligate $300,000, and if we get to the project, we get to the project, and we don't because we don't have the funds?
Yeah, that's exactly true, Jamie. And I would definitely, that would be my advice, is to over-obligate the dollars, come up with that bigger project list of what you guys are looking for. I think some of the conversations Sam and I had was there's like technology and upgrades and key fobs and all that stuff. Some cool fun stuff we have over in Steele County. You're more than welcome to come and take a look at it if you want. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm a huge IT nerd guy, so that's Travis and I get along well. But that one is eligible for grant funding from other sources, so you can utilize that for like I know Kelly's got a courtroom security grant. There's Homeland Security grants that come out annually, so you could obligate those to that specific project. Apply for grant funding, get the grant funds, and then you have that money available to you. The problem with it is that over obligation. Well, if you've already obligated $150,000, say, for that specific project, and you get grant money for the $150,000, well, then you have $150,000 that you need to come up with. So you need to have that difference of project sheet to where you need to come up with. This is what Sam and I put together, if you guys can see that. So your balance at the end of November is $353,851.58. Your Vanguard software expense, your CPT expense will be the recommendation to take CPT out of this, and then you're already obligated your 2025 offset of $33,590.21. So the top number is your running total left after obligations. It's a simple spreadsheet. Sam can go in and put in the description, put in the dollar amount. It just pulls away from that 206,768 and change.
Can we obligate to like a department, but not to a specific project in that department?
You
So
can.
let's say obligate some funds to the sheriff's department, and it is in case, let's say she buys a vehicle and she has leftover funds, she can take those leftover funds and buy it's still to her department, so she can buy a new vest or a new whatever, tasers or whatever kind of thing?
Yeah,
Can that be to the department?
You can definitely obligate it to a department, and then there's actually there's MOUs that NACO came up with, the National Association of Counties came up with, an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, that just states that we're going to obligate a specific dollar amount to this department on behalf of the county commission for, I would maybe specify in generality of what you're going to obligate those funds to, but you don't need to necessarily say, we're going to obligate them for the purchase of a vest, we're going to obligate them for the purchase of this. You can say something like, we're going to obligate them to the sheriff's office for updating equipment and technology or whatever the case is, and that kind of is that overbroad covering. Those MOUs are what the feds are looking for, especially when we do our reporting. So they're Griggs County and all counties, most counties across the state, are annual reporting, or required to do annual reporting. So that annual reporting doesn't happen until April, but you have to obligate the funds now. And the problem with the obligation of the funds, and it's true for every commission, is how the hell do you obligate the funds when you have no idea what projects are gonna come up in the future? And that's that forward-thinking piece a little bit that they wanted, the feds wanted done in a couple years ago, was how exactly do we obligate these funds? So I know you guys are having those discussions now, especially with vehicles and whatnot coming up. But I think the biggest two things for you guys to know and understand is that the COVID PHS general fund is your actual ARPA funds. If you're looking at your fund sheet here, you have $206,000 available in that to obligate. And then your ARPA fund that you have up here is your actual LATCF fund. And the differences between the two is that you have to do something with the COVID fund. You have to do something with that by the end of this year. You have to obligate those funds. You don't have to spend them, but you have to obligate them. The LATCF funds, though, that can stay in your books for 30 years if you wanted to. There's no requirements there for that.
Perfect.
That's an overgeneralization. Jimmy, what did I miss?
I think you explained it pretty well. I guess the most important thing is that we look at projects for the future for the county and get that money obligated, because we don't want to lose it. If we don't obligate it, we use it. That doesn't mean it's a Christmas list to go ahead and spend the money, but it's something that we can look at to defer costs for the county in the future. So whether it's an offset $33,000 or if the sheriff's department needs 2 vehicles by the end of 2026, you obligate money for the sheriff's department for 2 vehicles or equipment, or if the road department needs something by 2026. That's the money that you look at. It's not money just to spend, but it's money to lessen the burden to the taxpayers over the next 2 years.
There will be, depending on your guys' decisions, and again, no decision, I wouldn't recommend any decisions today unless you are for sure we need to do this for this, for this, for this. But my recommendation would be for you guys to absorb that information. It's because it's a lot. And to kind of come back probably at your last meeting and say, yes, we're going to obligate into this stuff. There's specific things, obviously, that, if for instance, you approve Amber's request, Sheriff Michaela's request, you can, that there's specific things, obviously, that if you feel need to be done. And my recommendation is always for the betterment of public safety in the roads. And those are, I will always and forever recommend those. So the road department and the sheriff's office are my 2 big recommendations when it comes to allocating dollars. That being said, there's always projects that come up for other places. Security is another really big one and probably a close one, to making sure security is updated throughout the places that the employees are present in. So those are my big 3 things when it comes to those recommendations. Otherwise, I would say, maybe wait until the end of the month and to further obligate those funds, especially since you're just learning about a lot of that information now. But again, you have $206,000 that need to be obligated by the end of this month. You have $100,000 that can be used for whatever the heck you guys want to use it for, in any way, shape, or form.
I'd actually ask that you guys call a special meeting, maybe the first day or 2 before Christmas, or the week before Christmas. That way we have an idea. If I'm going to have to do MOUs, I'd like to do them and have you guys vote on them and sign on them before the 30th. I think that'd probably be a good idea. I think one of the concerns that was brought up by employees was that that it might not be fair that it goes to road and law enforcement. I don't agree with that. This is supposed to be money to take care of the taxpayers, not necessarily employees. So if it gets all dedicated to law enforcement or all dedicated to the road department, I think that's appropriate. It's not for us as employees, it's for the taxpayers, to reduce the burden on the taxpayers. I guess it probably would be best to have a meeting before the 30th again. Whether it could be right after Christmas too, I guess, but I think that would be appropriate, just so we're not scrambling on the 30th trying to figure out some way just to spend the money. I think that we need to justify it and serve the public.
And the MOUs are available. I have sent those to Jamie, and they're Word fillable documents. So it's not something that he needs to create by any means. Right, it's no use in recreating the wheel if you don't have to. So, but those are, I'm sure Jamie's looked at those, and they look to be pretty okay. So it'd be a simple thing if he's going to just write those up and get those to you guys. But that's all I had. I'll stand for any questions.
So in your packet, you do have the kind of the list that the employees, when they had their meeting, kind of came up with.
Okay.
Things that we would like to see the money used for, or just different things. So that's on page 28. And then some kind of a ballpark price to them as well. Over on the left-hand side, they're labeled 1, 2, and 4. Those are like when us employees kind of put them in a priority list. That's kind of what we did. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Mm-hmm. Is is technology a good one? Would that cover? You put so much money towards technology. Would that cover, like, if you want to update security system, that would be like technology. If you want to update some laptops, that would be technology. I mean, so you could lump one in like that, right?
Yep.
Is that a good one? Okay. I mean, is that like workable?
Yep.
Okay. I like the fact that you can just, let's lump it into these specific areas, and then how it's used is.
But we do have to have a list of how, like Ben was saying, a specific project as within the technology.
Upgrade security systems or upgrade.
That's where the reporting and stuff comes into play, and that's more for Sam's keep for how you guys obligate these funds in the future. So what Sam and I were talking about was, and to your point, Steph, was that I think when you're doing the MOUs and stuff, it's really you can generalize that. You can specifically generalize it, if that makes the most sense. Into kind of those buckets of technology or equipment or whatever the case is, right? But when you're doing do you have this? Can you put that?
Oh, we all have it
Which
right here too.
Oh, the project list. Okay, so when you're looking at your project list, I think for an internal project list, I think this is a really good idea, because then when you do come back to, when you start looking at like over obligation of funds, you could come back to and say, okay, well, for instance, the door access and system and the security cameras are, they're listed as priority number 1 here. That's part of your guys' maybe grant applications in the future.
Right.
And so there's, $164,000 between those two, between the top two there. If you apply for a Homeland Security grant for that and receive partial of it, or you apply for a Court Facilities grant and receive partial of it, that starts taking away from the total obligation amount then at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So then having those other projects available internally will let you then be able to go back to and say, for instance, in 2025, well, crap, we got that in a grant.
Right.
Now we need to go back and re-obligate those funds, but it has to be in a project list that we've already have. So after the end of this year, so starting January 1, you can't create more internal projects. You have to have. My recommendation would be to have a list like this available to you guys. That would be probably the best way to do it. So for I was gonna print this off and I didn't. For our ARPA funds, what we did in Steele County, we received $373,000 and change, I believe. We obligated over half of it went to the Siren Radio Project, our statewide interoperability radio network. It went towards that, so we actually upgraded, because our dispatch center is Trail County, so we actually helped to upgrade the Trail County Dispatch Center with all the new equipment and stuff they need in order to function on that, and then we upgraded county-wide all of our entire radio system. So all of our responders, et cetera, our ambulances, our fire departments, our law enforcement, they all have brand new radios into their, law enforcement has them in their vehicles, fire and EMS don't yet. But we obligated those funds for brand new radios for them that fit on the new system, because we know that that's going to be an expense at some point here. And unfortunately, those fire departments and EMS, they don't have the kind of money, available to be able to buy a lot of that stuff. There's further conversations with that. There's $1,500 radio reimbursement if you order radios before the end of March.
Correct.
That you're eligible for. So that
Didn't we
is
do that?
with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Done
Yeah.
that already,
Yeah.
So that's just what we obligated those funds for. The rest of it we're utilizing. We're still making decisions on what we're going to utilize for on the other half, but quite a bit of that is going to be to our new tax system, our new software system. And then in Trail County, they're finalizing their conversation too, but they actually took half of their money because they had 1.5 million, I think. And they took half of their money off the bat and they obligated it to grants for the community. And so they said, we will, for anything that meets under these criteria, we will, award you that grant up to a specific dollar amount. We developed a committee that came together. We went through the different grant applications. I think we had grant applications for over $9 million and we had $700,000 to spend. So that was kind of cool to see the different needs in the community, and they obligated those funds. That committee then recommended to the commission, we want to obligate it for these specific projects. Community, I forget one of them, but there was a couple communities that received some funding for some different community projects and stuff that they were working on that fit underneath that criteria. So those are the examples of what you guys can be looking at. I also have a list. I have a link to the table that I'll send to Sam and Jamie. But NACO actually, the National Association of Counties, actually did a data table of every county in the U.S. that received ARPA funds, and every city and every jurisdiction. That's a searchable table, and you can see what they've already obligated their funds for to maybe give you guys some ideas. A lot of them is like water projects. A lot of cities are like water projects, those kind of upgrades, stuff like that. A lot of the counties, actually quite a bit of them went to the road department and sheriff's office for a lot of their stuff and their upgrades. So, but I'll provide that link to Sam and Jamie. They can send that out to you guys. You guys can peruse that list a little too. Okay,
Perfect.
now I'll shut up.
I think that's great. I think we should have a meeting before and then give enough time so that if we have to have another meeting, we can and not be stuck on a deadline.
Yeah, I think I guess I would suggest calling a special meeting just for purposes of
Yep.
discussing this.
Yep, I agree. Because that's a big discussion
You're
in
not
itself.
gonna make that decision in one day, I don't think.
Nope.
That's what I said before. Remember, I thought, well, I want one meeting just for this.
Yep. Yep.
So, what date do we got available? What do you think?
Oh, do you want to look at that, or?
Yeah, I want to look at that. Let's schedule one now and get that done.
Okay.
And Ben, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks,
I
Ben.
appreciate that.
Yeah. What day will work for you guys? What are you guys thinking? Rod? You're
I have the
tough-
calendar up.
Yeah,
if you
calendar.
need to look.
You're probably the wild card here for get you here.
We have court the 17th.
The 17th?
Yep.
Okay, that's on a Tuesday. Okay.
And I know currently this room is reserved the afternoon of the 18th.
Yeah, how about
and
Monday?
in the morning.
Well, what next Monday, the
How about
16th?
next Monday, the 16th?
Would that work, Rod?
That'll work.
Josh, you still there?
Nope, he's
He's
off.
gone, okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
Sam would just have to move the meeting that we planned.
so, okay, we'll just,
Oh,
What?
okay. Yep,
We
yep.
have to move that.
That's fine.
Next Monday or next Friday will work for me.
next Monday?
have it earlier too.
Let's do it next Monday,
Next
so that if
Monday.
we have to have it next Friday, we can do it. We
Okay.
can do
Yeah,
both.
okay. So that,
I can't do next Friday, but hopefully we can do it down on
next
Monday.
Monday?
But yeah, yep.
Okay.
Let's do Monday.
everybody agreement on that one?
Yeah. I'll
Yep.
do that.
Okay, do we need a motion or not? No.
No.
No,
Are
I'll
we
just
waiting
schedule.
for Monday for the sheriff's vehicle?
That's the next question.
That was a good question, wasn't it?
That was a very good.
I know, we're just, I know.
I am okay. I feel
What am
confident
I
with.
supposed to do with that information?
I have a
What, go
question.
ahead, Rod.
For the vehicle and for all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The sheriff, and I don't know what the pickup she's got now, but as in the past, the sheriff's vehicles pickups have gone
to the county.
to the county.
Correct.
And the one pickup that they still have down there that they use is when Paul Hendrickson got a 3/4 ton pickup that they're using to still pull trailers and stuff around. Are we wise, if we know that this thing's gonna have a second home,
Oh,
to buy a
a
3/4
3/4
ton
ton.
pickup?
You're not gonna like that.
Well, they ride.
They
I mean,
ride.
they
They're
don't-
not
They don't
riding.
ride it.
Danny's driving it, so she'll drive whatever she gets.
You know, I mean, I just think, you know,
I see your
have an
point.
offset.
I see your
There's-
point.
You know,
Yeah.
these 3/4 ton pickups, they drive like cars.
Yeah,
now,
they're better. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I see your. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
You know, because
The
if
future.
you go down there and if they're gonna hook on and get culverts or go to Fargo and pick up cutting edges and whatever, you're, a 3/4 ton is,
Wayne.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that is smarter buying then, because if we're going to rotate it down to the other department, it should be probably something that would be he could use.
So you mean,
I
so I
just
mean,
asked him if they have that in the.
you're gonna have to go back and talk to him about that one.
Yeah, I will.
See how much
If
more.
you can find out prices of
Yeah.
that, and then if they can get it,
Get it.
and then we can offset. But I think if we, you know, and maybe if we get into a rotation, we can rotate into the second home a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so they're not,
So,
Shot.
yeah.
so they
But
don't leave
but I
laying
mean,
on the side of
Out
the
of all
road.
all the pickups that have been passed down are the ones that they're still being used is
I
the
know.
one, the 3/4 and the tall lot.
I know.
So,
We were up to nothing left of them.
yeah. But,
It's like farming. Anyway. Well, let's do that, then we'll just.
What time are you wanting to meet on the 16th?
9:30.
9:30 is fine.
9:30.
9:30?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
9:30.
whatever works. Just in the morning.
I think Josh would prefer 9. 'Cause
9,
then he can get
yeah.
on the road faster.
Yeah,
A 9?
let's go 9, yeah.
Does 9 work okay for everybody?
Okay, that'll work next Monday. Okay, so Amber, just bring that, see if we can find something in that one. Anything else, Amber?
No, sir, I'm good.
What about the tires for your pickup?
Yeah, 9, oh, crap. I'll get that next time. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'll bring it. I have
the tires
it.
are
I'll bring
shot
it.
on
Yeah.
hers right now.
Yes, sorry, my bad.
I don't know, so can you do it, because we need to figure something to pay for those quick, you know, too, so. Okay,
I actually have money in my budget for that. So.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay. Now, anything else on this subject? We'll just, it's good enough, we'll keep moving on, okay? Okay, let's go with the Finley Farmers thing. Jamie, you're up.
All right, I was contacted by Cassie Tostenson from Nelson Law Firm regarding if we would be interested in doing it instead of the exemption. If we would do payment in lieu of taxes, I think it's a discussion that we should have and get some direction from you guys as far as what you would like or what you would like to do. Payment in lieu of taxes instead of exemption. We would work out a set value for the payment from the elevator for a certain amount of time instead of receiving the property taxes. That's, I guess, that's oversimplified, but that's what the concept of payment in lieu of taxes is. I'm not 100% sure that the elevator is eligible. I did contact the state tax commission this morning, and they were unavailable, or someone from the office was unavailable. But I'll do some more research. I researched it over the weekend. It appears that it is. I just want to get some confirmation from the state tax commissioner's office. I'll let Cassie talk if she wants to.
Yeah, I don't know. I know we
Commissioner.
probably had a different set of commissioners maybe at the time that the initial action took place. In 2022, prior to the elevator commencing construction, they had come in and applied for a tax exemption and went through the proper process, did the publication, sent notice to potential competitors, and concluding that process, the commission did approve that exemption, that 5-year exemption for that newer expanding business. And then subsequent to that, it was discovered that that there wasn't authority granted from voters for this board to grant any sort of exemptions under that section. So that question would need to be presented to the voters in order to determine whether or not you have authorization to do it either for this project or any other project in the future, just that you have that authority. So it might be something for this board to consider presenting to the voters at your next general election.
In 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you could present that just so you would have that authority and have that toolbox available to you.
Jamie, the Century Code 2017, you want to read that back, how that played out, remember? You know, about the Walmart in Mandan, you remember what I'm talking about in that? This all brought about, this whole deal? You remember?
I have it in front of me right now.
No, I know, but it was Century Code, and it was 2017, and it was the population of the county.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
to do with population of
Yeah.
county, and it's a taxpayer. It needs
Mhm.
the exemption needed to be taxpayer approved. Griggs County has never approved exemptions for new development or any kind of development. So at one point it was approved. Did some further research, learned that it had never been the ability of the commission to approve something like that had never been approved by the voters. So we couldn't do it, I guess.
Correct.
Is the simple answer. So yeah, we weren't able to do the exemption for the Family Farmers Elevator for the new fertilizer plant and seed plant. This is their request, to be able to do the payment in lieu of taxes.
Correct.
Because of not being able to grant the exemption.
That would be what our request is. We'd obviously like the exemption. That would
Correct.
be-
I'm just doing some background on this. Everybody knows what's going on.
You got it. I think this commission has a pretty good understanding. I think Jamie has a pretty good understanding of what the issues are. I do think we need to explore, because the statute isn't the most clearly written in my mind. It sort of lumps in the two issues together. I don't think the pilot requires a vote. It's a separate issue from the exemption issue. But I do think we need some clarification either from the AG's office or the North Dakota State Tax Department on application of the pilot and the timing of the application and submitting the application. Just to make sure we're dotting i's and crossing t's. But I didn't want to waste a whole lot of the county's time. I kind of wanted to get some direction from all of you on where we're at. Obviously, the elevator was counting on the exemption, and it's sort of put them in a bit of a bind with that project. So I'm hoping we can find a solution. And pilot might be an option.
So I guess we'll continue looking into it if you guys want us to continue looking into it.
I said, yeah. Do we should put on the next meeting agenda, do you think, Jamie? Will we have info by then?
We can put it on the agenda, and if we don't have anything. we'll
Okay.
just-
You mean on the 16th?
I'm guessing we probably
On
No.
the next regular meeting.
30th.
I would guess with Christmas coming up, that we probably won't have an answer. I would do the first meeting in January. I think that would be.
I think that's probably ideal, especially
Okay.
if we determine we need to seek like an AG's opinion or something.
Okay.
That'll take some time.
Okay.
So we'll just push it off to the first week, the first
Yeah,
one
I
in
don't
January.
think there's any, and I wish there was a huge rush, but I don't think there's any huge rush because this year has already been certified, so we're gonna have to contend with
Okay.
next year.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else, guys? Sounds good?
Thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys taking the time to.
Yeah.
You bet. Yeah, thank you
Yes,
guys
thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank you.
So, okay. All we have left is, Kelly, clerk of court.
Wayne's
Wayne?
next.
Wayne already
No,
went.
Wayne already went. He's already talked.
Okay.
It's you.
Okay, it's actually, I just saw on the agenda that it says for contract, but it's actually for the court facilities grant.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
That's okay. I just thought I'd just clarify that. You guys had already approved during budget season the amount. I do think it was slightly over. I don't think Travis is in here, but
No.
the total estimate cost, I don't know if it's, pricing difference for a few months, but it's, I think we approved a little over 11,000, but the total project for the court's part would be 11,878.77. So we would request from the grant the 75%, which would be the 890908. So I think this kind of goes back to the conversation with the ARPA COVID funds. Depending on what project you want to do. So this project that I'm applying for was for the cameras. We walked around, I did a walk around, Danny and Dalton walked around with me as well, and we designated roughly, Amber had a call, otherwise Amber would have been there. We designated roughly 8 cameras to cover the court space. So basically, court facilities grants can cover from, really, we included the Sally Port because the defendants would come through there if they're being transported. This room, because this is also our jury room, the main lobby, all of the courtroom, the judge's chambers, and the clerk recorder's office, and like I said, the lobby and part of that hall. So basically, the inner parts of this building can all be covered and applied for court facilities grants. Anything that's used for court purposes, basically. So we looked and roughly came up with 8 cameras to cover that area. Now that's for cameras, and that goes along with the camera project that was on that list.
Yeah, I saw
kind of
that.
the wish list or what have you.
Yeah.
So this grant has to be postmarked by the 31st of December. So if you did approve for me to go forward with this project, but this is included in either one of those other projects that you choose. If you choose to do the cameras, then this goes along with that. If you choose to do the other parts of the security with the fobs, the keys, things like that, we could switch gears and, you know, any of that part that would cover, we could then switch and I could apply for that. I can still go forward with this, but if you choose not to do that other project, I don't know if then this is dead in the water. Because this is only for a portion of that project. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So if you do the entire courthouse security camera project, that's on that list, whatever that costs.
Like
This is
125.
only for a portion of that.
Right, so that grant will cover 75% of whatever project we decide to do,
75% of the court space.
court space.
So
Oh,
right now
okay.
I have the pricing for the cameras. But if you choose to switch gears and if you choose to do that other project that's on there, I think it's the first one.
The door
With-
fobs.
Yes.
The door fob, yeah.
So I could switch gears and whatever this amount, because this is the amount that we have in the budget. Does that make sense? I could switch gears and apply for 75% of the court space for that project up to this dollar amount that you
Would
have
there
in the
be,
budget.
but would key fobs be less expensive? I mean, you want to kind of use it towards the large, I mean, granted, mind
That's
you, we're already
expensive.
saying, we're comparing a $126,000
I saw
project
that.
to a $40,000 project, yes.
Yeah,
So it's a
roughly.
huge
It's
difference.
a huge difference.
But if you're looking for a grant, you would want to pay 75% towards the larger portion of the project. But if the $126,000 for the fobs, only 11 of it is the courtroom, you know, it's
Right.
not.
And I don't know the cost of that, it's just that's what we budget for. However, and I don't know when
Can it be argued
this,
that the whole place is used for court? No.
well,
Well, key fobs is hard because each door
mean,
access.
I haven't
Can we get
included the entrances. I included the 4 entrances in some of this. But what I was gonna say as far as if you choose to allocate money to do that other project as well, when does that money have to be spent by?
2026.
End of
Be-
2026.
because
But there's
I
so
could apply for, if let's say you're gonna do both projects, I could apply for that second project.
there's some
next
Homeland
year.
Security grant. I mean, I think these can be pieced together.
Mhm.
Ben just texted me too and thought the same thing, that they can be pieced together. So
What-
I
The
think
two projects put in
So
together.
what you're saying is that,
that Homeland Security grants from my office as well can be pieced together.
Ben's still here.
you're still here.
Yeah, you
I
can.
told her to stick around. Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
Yeah, you can.
I write
Ben's still here.
I write a lot of grants. So I write a lot of Homeland Security grants. What I texted Jamie was true. I think that, and again, my recommendation here, but I think that if you piece together some of that security stuff and utilize the grants that are available at that time, that's the best way to accomplish the larger picture.
Correct.
Because you could apply for $170,000 in a Homeland Security grant and only get 17,000 of it. I mean, it happens, right? So they're going to piece together some of that stuff. So my recommendation would be to utilize a lot of what Kelly's doing in the court facilities grant. Piece together those specific projects. That also leads to the future when you're doing Homeland Security dollars. It's a federal grant, so you have to meet certain criteria on your procurement stuff. So like if you already have an established system, you pretty much are allowed to say, hey, we already have this system. This quote is a little bit more, but we want to use this quote because we don't want to redo our entire system. So if you can get the base stuff set in with what Kelly's looking for, that helps you in the future with those grants. So my recommendation would be to piece together that as much as you can and utilize court facilities as far as they'll let you use it.
Right, and as far as this year, the amount that I can apply for, this was the amount that we chose at budget time.
Oh.
The biggest court facilities grant I've ever received was for $145,000. So there isn't a limit that I can apply for. So if we run the numbers for the other projects for next year, or well, I guess we'd have to do that really soon. I can include a lot of the area. There's a lot of doors and a lot of that security stuff I can include for.
Oh, you probably can do both.
court
For
purposes.
security, you can say door fobs and camera system, not just one or the other. You could apply for.
It could be, like he said, it could be a one large project, but for this year, I only have this amount because this is what we chose at budget season.
Oh, but we can.
So it's
Oh.
up to you if, however that works
Okay.
for that purposes. But we set this money aside in the budget for 2025 to pay for this amount.
Also, but we
Right.
still have the ARPA, or the
And-
ARPA funds too.
Right, and I can apply for a grant next year to be included in that, and like he was saying, that could offset that. That makes sense. Or I can apply for all of it this year too, if you use those funds. If you wanted to make one massive project with all of it, we can do away with that. And there isn't a limit to the amount that I can pay for if you supply the funds out of that.
Would it be asking too much to figure out how much you'll be applying for? Let's say, for instance, can you give us a quote, like, if I do cameras and
That's what I'm saying.
That's-
Fig-
funds,
yeah, I'll talk
I
to
will
Travis,
apply for
that's
this
a-
much if I can do,
Give
and
us
then
some- give us some numbers.
before next Monday, because that's when we're gonna go through the ARPA funds, then maybe we
Okay.
could, if
Yeah.
we go that route or have discussion, we could be, this is where we can work with and play with the numbers, and I think
Right.
Ben volunteered to come next Monday to sit with us with ARPA
Didn't know that, did you, Ben?
funds. I thought I heard
I
that.
heard like writing
Yeah, he
grants or
told me that
something.
before.
I did.
Everybody lunch next
Yeah,
week.
I'll talk to Travis and I can see if he
Numbers.
can put together by next Monday
Yeah, let's do
what
that.
it would cost for the cameras and for all of the fobs, all of basically security.
Security.
Because I agree 100% with Ben. I do think that our roads and, keeping law enforcement safe, I think it's, this also benefits them, security for cameras and stuff like that. So I 100% am behind
Our
those.
our nursing home facility has cameras and a whole entire key fob system, and it helps for us to be able to track people coming in and out and look at the cameras, and I have a lot more control with people being able to lock the whole building. In one click, I can lock all of the doors in the building,
Lockdown.
and we're on lockdown. So that security, especially when we would go through shooters and stuff and through long-term care, and that was nice to be able to have that ability to lock it all down and open it.
Nursing homes are also eligible for Homeland Security dollars, but that's a separate conversation.
I don't know. I got
Okay.
things. I've got things.
But yeah, like Amber has stated too before, like it's not getting a nicer world. So
No, it sure isn't.
I think it's
I mean,
important.
we just went through a big security
absolutely, which is kind of
event.
absolutely, which is I think it's a reminder, to you as the board that we do need to protect our citizens, and the building, the people that step into this building need to have that safety and security, as long as including our law enforcement and the employees. So these grants are really how else do you fund big projects like this without grants? So utilizing this money, it's yeah. So yeah,
Good job looking into that, Kelly.
What's that?
Good job looking into that. Right?
Yeah. And like I said, there isn't a limit to the amount I can, so I'll talk to Travis and add that to his list and see if he can get a grant number. And then, I don't know your dates for your grants, Jamie, that you have. I just know whatever I apply for has to be by December 31st. But also I can apply for a grant next year too, so.
Is there funds available in the Homeland Security grant yet?
I don't know if they're open right now, are they?
They usually don't come up until April.
Because I got an assessment, I got the assessment for the election or whatever, and they had told me at that time that there wasn't any, but that I have the assessment for when it is.
So Homeland Security has two different grants available federally that we are eligible for, we counties. One of them is a state Homeland Security grant, so that's the April timeframe. There's also a cybersecurity grant that Travis and I have been working through a lot in Steele County, and that's usually in September, October is when those come into play. So there's a grant timeline that the feds have, but it won't be until next year that we start seeing some Homeland Security stuff. I already talked to Jamie about it.
Good.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
My only other comment is that if whatever we do apply for, if something falls through and we decide not to do the project, we would just have to formally write to them and say that we wouldn't be doing the project. So you're not tied to anything.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you, Kelly.
All right.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, yeah. So, left just Vanguard contract.
You have that in your packet?
Okay, Jamie, what do you think of it?
It's a standard boilerplate contract.
Okay.
problem with the contract itself.
Okay. And you have that, we have to sign that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I can say that then.
Yep.
Old courthouse, new courthouse, guys?
Well, do you want a motion to
Oh,
allow you to?
yeah,
sign that?
I need a motion to approve the,
So move.
okay. Edlin, motion to approve the contract. Do I have a second? Or I have to sign it, I should say.
Well, we already approved the
We did.
initial, but
Yeah. Do I even need that?
I don't think so, because
No.
we already approved the
I already approved the
contract.
contract.
with them.
Well, you didn't approve the
didn't approve the
contract.
contract
No,
because
because
the
Jamie
line
said
item.
not to
Oh,
approve the
okay.
contract without seeing the contract. So
Okay.
now you need to approve the contract.
Okay. So Edlin has a motion to actually, for me to sign the contract, approve it.
Okay.
Do I have a second on that one, guys? Do I have a second? One more time.
Yeah, you're allowed to,
I don't think she is. I think she's just tiebreaker.
I don't know though.
If you look at it, it's the treasurer's supposed to be there just for tiebreaker, not the second.
well, is there any way we can get back Josh
Josh
back
back on.
online then?
Yep.
We have everybody here.
He said he was in a bad spot, so that
Yeah.
was just supposed to keep going.
Could we just call too, so it'd be easier, just, we're almost done anyways.
Yep.
I did visit with Paul and they are game for, they're okay with the, help paying for it like we were before and
Yeah, what's that?
Were they gonna come to a meeting? The city?
he asked if he should come to this one, and I said I didn't think it was. We were going to discuss it until it was ready to be fully discussed, since you know how to break up the expenses and such.
Yeah. We probably need more information from Vanguard, and 'cause I
Yep.
think you talked about like parcels and.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Nothing?
No.
Great.
So it can be tabled until the next meeting.
So can we put on the COVID meeting then, or the December 9th meeting?
Yeah.
I mean, December, the next.
16th?
Yeah, 16. We stick it on there?
Mhm.
Yeah, let's put that on then, so, okay. So,
But the motion
motion
dies.
dies for lack of second motion. Yeah, correct. Okay, so. Okay, old courthouse, new courthouse? Anything, guys?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. John?
No.
Okay. Future business then?
Pricing on the pickup from the sheriff, I guess.
Yep.
Yep, I'll bring that on
Okay.
Monday.
Your tires. You need the tires before now, before then?
Yeah.
I have budget money.
Yeah,
Okay.
She says much, she said you're gonna have to cover it, she said that.
Okay,
so,
sounds
okay.
good.
So future business, I have, you guys tabled something. Finley Farmers will be on in January.
January, correct.
And then the 2025 meeting schedule.
Okay. Anything else, guys? If not, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Yeah, okay. Second by Edlin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Yeah, motion carried.
Next
Okay,
meeting.
Next meeting is, the regular meeting is December 30th, right?
Yep.
The regular scheduled meeting
Yep.
at 9:30, correct?
Yep.
We have a special one for December 16th at 9.
Yep.
Okay.